What do an engineer, a building surveyor, and a mental health nurse have in common? The answer is a retrofitted rooftop garden. This was a project developed to evaluate the impact of horticultural therapy on the health and well-being of people recovering from mental illness. When engineer Rob Kasalik contacted building surveyor and academic Sarah Wilkinson with the news that he had funding to evaluate the Grow Horticultural Therapy Programme on the rooftop garden at St Canice's, an inner-city church in Sydney's King's Cross, she knew that this was a great opportunity. She also knew she couldn't evaluate the health effects, so turned to UTS academic and mental health nurse Fiona Orr. They understood just how broad the potential benefits could be. Approximately 1 in every 5 Australians experience a mental illness. Mental health may be affected by individual or societal factors including economic disadvantage, poor housing, lack of social support, and the level of access to and use of health services. Yet in our increasingly urbanised, high-density, high-pressure, and some say increasingly isolated world, there's growing evidence of a salve and a way of mitigating stress, pressure, and mental illness. And it's right above our heads. Based on the findings of the GROW study, other rooftop gardens are now being created. Rooftops are usually unused and unloved spaces. Around 40% of all horizontal space in our cities are rooftops. Green roofs, retrofit or new build, can help control stormwater runoff, improve air quality, reduce the urban heat island effect, increase biodiversity, improve thermal performance, increase property value, and importantly here, provide amenity space. How does green space affect well-being? Where and how we live affects our mental health and well-being. The benefits of green spaces include participation in activities that promote social interaction and increase physical exercise, reductions in stress and improvements in mood and attention, and positive effects on anxiety and mood disorders. In 1984, Edward Wilson introduced the biophilia hypothesis. This is based on the idea that humans have an innate tendency to seek connection to nature for its calming effects. Literally, biophilia means love of life or living systems. The question is, does it exist? And could it be incorporated in the lives of people recovering from mental illness? What grew out of this? Most of the participants didn't have their own garden, so the programme provided them with access to a relaxing and beautiful space that enhanced their health and well-being. Some of the many benefits they identified included regular connection with others and developing friendships, experiencing enjoyment and restorative health. It's like a little haven or a little sanctuary to come to every week. You would never imagine something like this up on a roof. It's a beautiful garden, and there's lots of different plants, and they produce oxygen for us. It's just a beautiful place. Getting to know everyone a bit more each week, it's been brilliant, developing relationships and friendships. I'm coming here to enjoy myself, and I walk out with a smile every time I leave this place. It's central to my recovery and ongoing mental illness, and it should be seen as a fundamental part of the healing process for people with mental illness. The benefits to participants were positive and very apparent. Both researchers experienced positive benefits of participation in the weekly programme too. Possibly the best outcome is that based on the evaluation of the two programmes, the Education Liaison Officer at St Vincent's Hospital was able to make a case for retrofitting 3 unused rooftop spaces at the hospital. The case was supported, and the hospital is having designs drawn up for 2 of the roofs. Before and after the retrofit, Fiona and Sarah will be undertaking evaluations of staff, visitors, and consumers' experiences of the spaces, as well as the horticultural therapy programs. A final thought is that this approach is very transferable into other sectors where people experience periodic stress and or isolation. That would include the corporate sector and high-density residential areas. So think about it and see if you can go up on the roof too.